What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel, and today it is episode 12 of What's on the Pegs. Of course, this is my weekly toy hunt, checking out all the cool stuff out there at all the different stores. And as always, if you're finding cool stuff at the stores, send it my way. Send me pictures. Of course, Daniel Cross always sending me fun pictures. We'll be diving into that a little bit later on. But of course, I'm always checking the Walmarts, the Targets, and the vintage toy shops too. In fact, a lot of my pictures do come from vintage toy shops because, we're all kind of finding the same stuff at Walmart and Target, but those vintage toy shops, Daniel Cross hits several every week. I hit my usual stops pretty often, and, oftentimes with that we'll find stuff like, oh yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. And in probably in this video, in fact, you're going to see, examples of stuff that I found. So it definitely makes it fun, of course. But we start off this week with something I used to collect, but I don't anymore, and that is NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love these cartoon 2-packs. Of course, we got Bugman and Electro Zapper. I have zero recollection of either of these guys, but I think that's what's kind of fun about a line like this, because obviously you want your heavy hitters. You want the Turtles, you want Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, etc., etc., but man, it's kind of cool to get these guys who may have only appeared in one episode, but they're forever in toy form. Obviously, Playmates, as far as I can recall, never did these guys, so there's something fun about that. And again, I think that's what's fun about seeing different stuff. That's why it's fun to go to the different stores and stuff. Online shopping will always be something we all do to some degree, but it's always fun to go to different stores and literally see what they have, because you're like, oh wow, Bugman and Electro Zapper. Huh. You may not buy it, but what I like to say, it'll stop you in your tracks. It'll make you look and be like, huh, okay, that's kind of cool. So, that's my thing. I like seeing different stuff like that and diving into different things here and there. I also ran into these Reaction Plush G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Definitely some fun stuff here from Super 7. As a lot of you know, they were doing a reaction line of G.I. Joes there for a while. The reaction figures were like the 3 3/4 limited articulation, and they started doing O-ring, which is basically the original G.I. Joe style. And as you can see here, these are about $21.49, so $21.50. Not terrible. Expensive for what they are, but if you were to go to try to buy G.I. Joes on eBay, you're probably going to be spending that. So I guess in reality, it's not terrible. But we got Cold Slither Zartan, which is kind of fun, and Arctic Cobra Commander. I don't know. I may have even shown these before, but I was like, these are fun. It's not something I'm going to pick up, because I'm just like, I'm already deep into the classifieds, and I have more of those than I could even unbox, because I have several I need to get to. But I'm like, not for me, but I'll admit, this is pretty cool to see. So let me know in the comments down below, are you picking up G.I. Joe Reaction Plus? I think they're fun. Probably not something I'll dive into, but, things change. Who knows? I also found these. AEW Jazzwares, a Matt Hardy and a Jeff Hardy just sitting there on the pegs. Could not believe it. Of course, these are their most recent releases. This is definitely one of the craziest things in wrestling. The Hardys get into AEW. They have one pay-per-view match. Jeff Hardy does not have the best showing for himself. He gets hurt. Matt Hardy leaves the company. Jeff Hardy kind of rides out the rest of his contract and then eventually leaves too. And now they're both in TNA. And they've done appearances for NXT and stuff. So it seems like a WWE return will probably be happening, at least from a merchandising standpoint. But good on Jazzwares for getting these out. It's just such a weird moment in time, because Jeff Hardy's run in AEW is so short. I could see people not even remembering that it happened. I don't know, the AEW Jazzwares line is just not the best. I had super high hopes for it, but it's starting to kind of dwindle. And these are great. There's nothing wrong with these figures. They have extra heads. This is kind of the classic Hardy Boys look. They're all really good. It's just, I don't know, something about them. But drop the comments down below. Are you picking up these? I think they're cool. It's cool to see them on the pegs. It's just not a couple I bought. I have my original Matt Hardy and the original AEW Jeff Hardy, and I think I was good there. These are more your classic Hardy Boys looks, but I was like, I'm good there. Then, of course, some Star Wars Black Series. We got Basil, the Jedi Leader Tracker, and then Dr. Orson Krennic. Not real familiar with these characters, but it was kind of cool to see different Star Wars Black Series on the pegs. As I've dove a little bit deeper into Star Wars Black, because it's a line I enjoy, but it's not something I dive super deep into. But one thing I've noticed about these is the kind of less than popular characters kind of move quickly, and then like the Lando Calrissians of the world just sit on the pegs for like years. It seems like it's so weird how that happens. But a couple of new figures thought it'd be worth taking a picture of. So kind of cool, something different for sure, right? Different for the channel. Man, these are interesting. Street Sharks. I was super excited for the return of Street Sharks. We got a couple of waves. I think last summer was wave 1. Wave 2 hit shortly thereafter. 6 figures in total. At SDCC last year, we saw previews for wave 3 and beyond, but nothing since then. Are they still happening? I have no idea. I have not heard a thing about Street Sharks since then, so I don't know. This is kind of a weird one. I hope we get more Street Sharks. I've unboxed Streaks there. We got Streaks and Slash. I did unbox Streaks on the channel. He was a very early video. And I have Big Slamu, I think is his name, to still unbox. And I never picked up Dr. Piranoid. I need to do that so I can get these unboxed on the channel. Street Sharks were great. I do know like it's not the most popular line, but it'd be cool to have. It's cool to have. So hopefully we get more Street Sharks. I don't know. Maybe timing is everything, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the fandom is just not there for him. What about you? Did you guys pick up the Street Sharks? They're fun. I think they're cool. But I could also see them maybe not being for everybody. We shall see. Orange suit Batman. This was an interesting one. I searched for this one high and low. I found the purple suit one very quickly. Never saw the orange one, but then I finally spotted it at a Target. I had to pick it up. Of course, from that classic Batman comic from years ago. I think we're actually getting like the yellow and the green and then even the rainbow suit coming up. I've seen some listings for those, so had to pick this up. Of course, a Platinum Chase edition. Do you need this? Maybe not. Like, it's just an orange suited Batman. It's nothing special. But it was like, oh, I got to get that. It's an orange suit Batman. Got to have it. I don't know. Do you guys ever do that with your collection? I have so many DC Multiverse Batman figures. So many. But again, I'm like, I need it. Yeah, I don't know. What are you going to do, right? But it is fun. It's something different. And I think McFarlane, as they are probably losing the license, it seems, or at least it's getting greatly decreased. I don't know exactly what will happen. I've heard rumor that they might keep the retro line, like the Super Friends style, maybe the Page Puncher. So this scale may not actually go away, but who knows? DC Multiverse, as we know it, though, I don't see being a thing in the future. But, time will tell. G.I. Joe Classified. I always love these figures. The Frag Viper. Saw this in a store, and as you can see, not a ton on the pegs here for him, but it's kind of cool to kind of go deep into the line here. I've unboxed Big Boa, Techno Viper in the last several months, I guess. I got more to unbox, but it's always cool to see new Joes. I have not been keeping up with these, I'll be honest. I go hot and cold with these where I'm like, oh, I got to get more Joes, and then I'm like, I don't really need those. Do you guys ever do that? I feel like as a line gets more, as it gets deeper, you realize, like, I don't know if I need those. I definitely do that. The Frag Viper looks awesome, though. Such a cool figure. So I do want to pick this up at a certain point. But, now with these prices going up, and it's not that I can't afford what I want. I feel like I just have to make some choices sometimes and be like, okay, well, today I can't pick up everything. I'm picking up one thing. And you kind of have to make that choice. And I've decided to go with what I want the most in that moment. And, I may miss out later, but that's sometimes what you have to do. So this is an interesting one. I saw this at Books A Million, of all places. Was so shocked to see this. The Spawn Batman 2-pack. If you guys are a DC Multiverse fan, or really an action figure fan at all, I check Books A Million because it's kind of an untapped resource. It's almost like people don't know they have figures there. They do have a few. This thing you can't find hardly anywhere, and I just saw it sitting there. I'm like, wow, I didn't pick it up because I have multiple Spawn figures and multiple Batman. I didn't feel like I needed it, but I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Spawn and Batman right there on the pegs. Really, really cool stuff. And this is, like, I think the only DC packaged Spawn. If you buy any of the McFarlane Spawn figures, like this generation's versions, they're basically the same scale, but this is the only one in DC packaging. So if that matters to you, it might be worth picking up. But really cool to see it. I love the background, too. Like, you have the DC background and the Spawn background. Really, really fun. And like I said, all the Spawn figures that McFarlane's done recently have all been really, really fun. So I'm wondering, too, with the license going away, if we start to see more of those. I could definitely see that happening, where that starts to increase in stuff. But I guess time will tell. And then I was at Walmart and I noticed this, a price drop, holy price drop, Batman. The Biker Mice from Mars are now $20.98. a lot better than the, I think, $29.99 or $34.99, whatever they were. Still didn't buy any. I think these look great. I think they're super fun. I don't feel like I need them. In fact, you can literally see the dust on these. That's how long they've been sitting there. And the bikes are even a little bit cheaper too. I think $27.97. So not horrible. It's just one of those things where I don't think the nostalgia for these were totally there, and I don't think people were like, oh, I gotta get Biker Mice from Mars. They're here. It's just like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, whatever. But no one was like, I don't think anyone was going nuts for these either. So it is what it is. But cool to see for sure. And I have a friend of mine message me. He's like, I think some places are even showing these for $8. So if you're finding these for $8, drop them in the comments down below, because I've heard that. I haven't seen it myself yet though, but I will probably pick these up for $8, right? I mean, come on, that's a good deal. So, and it's weird. Sometimes when you see a deal, you're like, oh, I got to get it, even though like it's not something you need, but it's a deal, so you go for it, right? Guilty as anybody. And then the last thing I'm gonna put out there is some more DC Multiverse. This was at Walmart. My Walmart got rid of all DC Multiverse in the toy aisle, but then I came across this in the in kind of the collector section, but off to the side, it was from the new Superman movie. Of course, you got Mr. Terrific. You got what is his name? Gosh dang, I can't think of the phony Ultraman. Is that his name? Yeah. I got a Chase, Mr. Terrific, Red Lantern, Guy Gardner, a few others here. The robot, I don't know the robot's name, but I was like, oh, that's cool. $34.97. What do you guys think of that? Deluxe Theatrical Edition is what these are called. So I guess it's the same as the McFarlane Collector's Edition. I guess $35, is that too much? I don't know. I guess we have to vote with our wallet. To me, there's nothing here that was worth purchasing, so I didn't. And I think with a lot of toy lines, that's what we're gonna do. Is just like, if it's not for me, I'm just not gonna buy it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm good. So, but again, drop in the comments down below. Let me know. Did you pick these up, or do you think that's too expensive? We're seeing price hikes across the board. $1 here and there, I think, is one thing, but jumping up $5, that's a little hard to swallow. And then I also wanted to post this from a good friend Daniel Cross. How about this? This is a rare boy right here. A WCW Unleashed Toy Biz Mike Awesome. As you can see, it was $7.99 red pin down to $2.99 at KB Toys. Toy Vomit, you can take it home for $38. Not a horrible deal, but a Toy Biz Mike Awesome. What a time. His run in WCW was so interesting because he came in with so much hype. ECW champion, the career killers, and then they have him like throw Canyon off the cage, wild times. And then he's like in a leisure suit. He's that 70s guy. And then he shows up in WWE, and pretty much that's it. That's all she wrote. And then, of course, he did the ECW One Night Stand with Masato Tanaka, but then we kind of never really saw him again. And it was a shame because Mike Awesome was really, he was awesome, no pun intended. He was definitely a favorite of mine during that time. I love that he's getting figures again. Zombie Sailor Toys, of course, did the retro style Mike Awesome, and then the variant Gladiator, which was great. He's doing a Pinnacle collection, a 6-inch scale line. Hopefully we get Mike Awesome in that. I think he would be a guy that definitely needs that, because I don't think he's had a modern scale figure. In fact, not a lot of figures in general. The ECW figure, of course. Some WCW Toy Biz, maybe one or two. Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's the only figures he had. And besides the new ones from Zombie Sailor, so hopefully some more guys get him in the lines. I would love to see him get a big rubber guy. I think that would be awesome. No pun intended again. I'd love to see him get so many other type of figures. I don't know if Mattel would necessarily make a Mike Awesome. I guess if you signed a Legends deal, it's possible. And again, some of these guys, there may not feel like there's meat on the bones, but I would love to see some ECW Legends. Give me New Jack. Give me Mike Awesome. Give me Amish Roadkill. Give me Danny Doring. Give me the FBI. I'd be all about it. I think all those guys would be awesome to have modern scale figures. So I guess we will see what happens. But that's all I got this week for What's on the Pegs. Of course, thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. Check out my unboxing videos. I have 3 unboxing videos every single week. Check those out. Check out Tales of the Toy Box. I got 3 episodes up and counting. Episode 4 will probably be dropping some point in July. It'll be all about the X-Men, the Toy Biz X-Men. Really excited to dive into that. And, of course, the TB Toycast podcast, flagship show. Check that out every Thursday with me and Travis. We have a different toy line we dive into, as well as all the news and happenings in the toy world. So check that out as well. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. This is What's on the Pegs, and we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly, so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.